I look really fat. Brr. Hey guys. Um, shit. I'm gonna do the Q&A like this, um, because it's the easiest way to do it, and the camera mode on this laptop is stuck on black and white mode from years ago when I used to do like Google Hangouts with all the other YouTubers, and I don't like being on film, so I figure if I put it in black and white, wear a cap, and keep my head down, it won't really be so bad. So there was a major technical problem with the Q&A answers video that you guys haven't seen yet. The original Q&A answers clip, which would have been part 2 to the one where you guys asked me all the questions. There was a corrupt file error, and I lost the file. Well, I lost the whole thing. It was 2.5 hours long, pretty much. All the answers, over 150 questions. But I answered every one of them, and then edited the whole thing, and it got lost. Well, it got corrupted. I don't know. Movie Maker. But there were a lot of questions that were repeating the same question. Like there was literally about 15 variations of, if you could get Hot Toys to make any figure, what Hot Toys figure would you get made? So I'm going to skip those ones, and I've got on my phone here all of the most juicy questions, the ones that have the most meat to them. So here we go. John Con, the first one I'm doing, says, few people mention taking care of figures. Can you mention the main things we need to do to look after them? And I'm going to go through these questions quick. Before, I spent like 10 minutes, 15 minutes sometimes on one question, but I'm going to have to blast through these because I want this video to be not too long. Yeah, so dust obviously is one of your main enemies when you're a figure collector, and sunlight, direct sunlight, but dust is the main thing. I have a pain in the ass of a time with dust. But that's it really. Just try and keep them in cabinets and keep them out of direct sunlight. Simple as that. There are other things, but like I said, I want to do this quick. And then Mysterious says, what do you think is the hottest Catwoman in your collection? Maybe the Sideshow Collectibles premium format statue. I'll just say that one. It's amazing. So thanks, Mysterious. Glenn Page, what do your friends think of your collection? Which is amazing, by the way. How do they react? Glenn Page. Thanks very much, Glenn. Well, Nick in Brighton is my only friend in the physical world, shall we say, who I can go to his place and check out his collection, and he can come to my place and check out my collection. So he's the only real friend I have like that. Obviously, I've got all you friends on here. But I've got some other friends in the real world, shall we say, who will come into the room and sit and talk to me for hours and never once mention the things that are surrounding them. Even people who I know love Predator and Robocop and Terminator, and they see those things around them, but they just won't acknowledge them. Almost like they fear that if they would acknowledge the figures, they'd be enabling me and my problem. So Glenn Page, I don't know, I'm sure it's 50-50. I'm sure some of my friends think it's a really cool collection. Other people think it's ridiculous for a guy my age to be spending money on these things. But that's the way of the world. That's how that is. God, this is a big one. Here, hang on. I'm just go ahead and... Alright, hold up. Let me just read this. This is a big one. And first I have to figure out how to say his name. Professor Alsum 1. I hope I'm saying that right. Congratulations on 10 years. Awesome, honest reviews. No biased bullshit and no arse licking. Always a pleasure to watch your lengthy reviews. I have 2 questions. If you could get Hot Toys to make a figure and improve it, or sorry, if you could get Hot Toys to remake a figure and improve it, which figure would you choose and what would you add to it? So that's the first question, and I'll go with the me from 5 years ago would have hated me for saying this, but I would like Hot Toys to remake in 1/6 scale the original Predator, and I wouldn't mind as a new accessory for him, maybe like a new jungle base with like a tree that comes up behind the figure and kind of goes over him a little bit, so that you could hang a skinned person accessory with the original Predator. And I'd still like them to include a little puddle in the diorama base like they did with the original one, and give him a little sack of the little net sack of skulls that he had with him. as well as the usual skull with a spine all bloody. And the second question was, my other question is, will you get detolfs or larger shelves in future when more figures arrive from Hot Toys, or will you sell old ones to make room for the new ones? Thank you, Dean, and hope you enjoy Homecoming, which was when I was going to see Spider-Man Homecoming, and I did enjoy Spider-Man Homecoming. It was brilliant. So yeah, once the extension is done here and I've got more room, I'm going to seriously think about getting some cabinets, because I do want to get these figures behind glass at some point. I like having them on shelves so I can just get to them easy, because I'm always tweaking poses and stuff, so it's handy for that. So thanks a lot for that, man. And now we have Stephen Lee CP. How do you maintain or take care the quality of leather material figures, e.g. Catwoman boots? Just keep them clean. Keep them clean. Keep them clean. keep them away from dust, and try not to let your dogs or cats eat them. So that's that one, Stephen. I don't know really, man. I've been in the game a while, but there's still some things I'm not very clued up on. So Stephen Lee CP, thanks very much for the question. I just try to keep them clean, basically. Now here we go. My German female friend, and whose name I will probably mess up again. I say it, Titanin 1984. And she says, what are your top 5 movies of all time? And she's got quite a few questions here, so that's the first one. What's your top 5 movies of all time? I'm really not sure. I should have thought about this beforehand, but I'll just say my main ones. Taxi Driver, Batman Begins, Dog Soldiers, Predator, Terminator 2, but then I'm missing out so many other ones. But I'm just going to say those for now. They just came to me off the top of my head, so that must mean something. Which movie soundtracks do you like the most? Number 1, Batman Begins. I love that soundtrack. I love the soundtrack to Taxi Driver as well. The Crow soundtrack is amazing. God, there's so many. The Singles soundtrack from the movie Singles with Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains, and that was a great one. I'll be kicking myself later because Dead Man's Shoes had some good tracks on there. The film Dead Man's Shoes, if you ain't seen that, watch it, it's amazing. And which Marvel Cinematic Universe film do you like the most? I don't know, really. I've been watching Ant-Man a few times recently on Netflix, just while I'm having my dinner and stuff. I really enjoy Ant-Man. I was talking to Anthony Sang about that recently, and I was even contemplating getting the original Ant-Man figure, which I still would like to do, but I kind of have to ease back a little bit and just wait for Ripley to come out. I'll get her, and then Arkham Asylum Joker and Arkham Knight Batman and blah blah blah. It just goes on and on and on. Which comic book characters would you like to have a movie masterpiece figure that isn't produced yet? An Adam Hughes Catwoman. Like, I've got loads of custom Adam Hughes Catwomans, but an official one, Adam Hughes, authorized Catwoman in 1/6 scale, absolutely, that'd be what I want. Sorry, the screen keeps going away. Which figure are the oldest one in your collection? Maybe at this point the DX89 Michael Keaton Batman or the Christopher Reeve Superman. There probably are older ones, but those ones are pretty old now. Yeah. And which are the 1/6 figures in your collection history which disappointed you the most? Disappointed is a strong word for that situation, because I can't really honestly remember ever getting a Hot Toys figure or a Interbay figure or those are the main ones I've always sort of collected in 1/6 scale, or a Blitzway figure. I've never really been disappointed, maybe frustrated, but never like, oh, I regret buying this. I usually am pretty happy that I bought what I bought. So thank you, Titanin 1984. Thanks so much for all your questions and your support. Now we got NesBaby98. What was the figure that made you start collecting, and what's your favorite figure that you own and why? The figure that got me started collecting 1/6 scale would have been the Takara Batman Begins. I saw Batman Begins in the cinema and it changed my life, and I had to own something of Batman from that movie, and I went on eBay or had a look on YouTube. I remember Movie Freaks reviews, P2, Night Slade 2007 had reviews and showcase videos up on the Takara 1/6 scale Batman Begins figure, and I had to have it. And me and my buddy Nick, we both ordered it, and we were both waiting for it. Couldn't wait for it to arrive. It was mainly the cape on that thing just seduced us. And also, what's your favorite figure that you own and why? I'll just go with the Beast, the Entebbe Batman, which is right up there. A stupid finger. There it is. That's the big one. And why? Because it's from my favorite superhero film of all time, Batman Begins. Yeah. So thank you, NesBaby98. I'm getting dry mouth now. I need to put a pause in a minute and get myself some H2O. Red and Dead. I have that you are. I'm pretty sure his phone did what my phone does all the time and keeps changing the words around. He obviously meant, I hear that you are somewhat of a Tool fan. So what is your favorite Tool song? And have you thought of making a video where you try the Unreal Toys wired Batman cape on all of the Batman figures? Congrats on 10 years. Look forward to 10 more. Thanks, man. My favorite Tool song is probably The Patient from Lateralis, track 3. It just has everything I like about Tool in one song. There are many other favorites. Love H. I like to think that the song H from Anima and The Patient from Lateralis are somehow related. It feels like that to me when I'm listening to them. I love The Grudge and Push It and Salival, the live CD box that they brought out has an amazing version of Third Eye and Push It on there as well. Love Tool. Big influence on me with the music I've played, and the videos I used to make on Night Vision for the first sort of 5-6 years were really influenced by Tool. Oh, and will I eventually put all the Unreal Toys wired Batman cape on all of the Batman figures? I'll try that at some point. There's certain ones I won't be able to do it with, like the Medicom Batman. That cape won't come off unless I mess the figure up, and the Arkham City Batman, which is right there, his cape won't come off either, but I'll try it on the ones I can. Remind me about that later on, dude. It's been a busy week. So thanks very much, Red and Dead. Always love a Tool question. Right, Skillful Sing 007. Now that you have the BVS Wonder Woman figure, do you feel let down or feeling like you should have waited for a potential Wonder Woman solo film version? No, I don't regret getting her for a second. It wasn't the most fun review to film, but then the days that followed and the new information that sort of started popping up online on Facebook and stuff kind of put my mind at rest a little bit more. I think the people who had her on pre-order and who have cancelled now shouldn't have done that. I remember at the end of my review when I said, can I honestly recommend this figure to people? And my honest answer was no, not really. But if you really want it, get it, because you're going to love the way it looks, but just be very careful when you're handling it. And that still stands. I mean, people are now saying that if you get creases in her arm when you do the cross arm pose, you get some creases here, but apparently after a day or two those creases just go away again. She heals herself like a Terminator. I'm not 100% sure whether to fully believe that yet, but time will tell. But I would still say definitely pick her up if you're into the Wonder Woman thing. It's an amazing looking figure. I'm looking at her right now and she is stunning, and everyone I've shown her to in person has been stunned by how detailed and beautiful she is. But you just got to be careful. That's the only thing. And it just wasn't the most fun review to film for Wonder Woman, because I wanted to do so much with her, and then it turned out I couldn't really, unless I wanted to risk damaging a very expensive figure, because I had to get her. I didn't get her from Anthony Sang. James Irwin had to track one down for me, and it wasn't easy, and it was apparently quite a lengthy thing that he had to do to eventually get me one, and it was not cheap. So that was another reason I was very hesitant to push her too far, in case something went wrong and I would end up very upset. So, is that it? Yes. Thank you, Skillful Sing 007. And what's this? This is Red and Dead again, the guy who asked the tool question, and it says, I'm sorry to ask another question, but I just thought of asking you. I am faced with a predicament. I desperately want the BVS Superman, but I can't find him for under $300. I found a Man of Steel Superman for a decent price, but I found that the Deadshot costs generally around the same price. Should I wait for the possible new Superman, probably a few years from now, and get Deadshot, or should I just get the Superman? The Man of Steel figure is still a really, really nice looking figure, but the suit really was improved on for the for the BVS version. I can't speak. They really improved the suit for the BVS version. The Man of Steel figure is still very impressive looking. I still have it. It was a gift from Curtis Wayne's Butler in Canada. Hey Curtis, if you're watching. It's a fantastic figure. They really improved upon it and bettered it with the BVS version, so I would get that one. I would choose Superman over Deadshot, and I would definitely choose the BVS version. It's not really worth getting the Man of Steel one now at this point, because the suit he's wearing isn't very accurate, really, and definitely was improved on with the BVS version. So that's what I would do. I would do what I have to do to get the BVS one. And Deadshot looks amazing, but there's a toss-up between Deadshot and Superman. Superman every time, baby. So thanks, Red and Dead. Oh shit. No, there it is. Peter Drake. Is there a figure you have always regretted selling or not buying? I always kind of regret selling the Terminator Tech Noir Arnie from the scene at the club, which I do know the name. Is it called the Tech Noir? Yeah, that's it. He's wearing the grey punk jacket with the studs. I regret selling that. And that would be my brief answer to that one, Peter Drake. Or regret not buying. No, I've usually managed to eventually acquire any figure that I really wanted. I sell figures or save up money to get the money I need to get the new thing. Ian Fleetwood, question: with so many figures, how do you store the boxes with all the extras? Do you destroy them like Budget Stark does? No, I keep all the Hot Toys boxes. I've destroyed a few NECA 1/4 scale boxes in my time, just because they're big and they're not that amazing looking most of the time. The artwork's nice, but the Hot Toys boxes, no, I can't bring myself, and don't think I could ever bring myself to destroy a Hot Toys box. Thinking about boxes like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man figures, the red suit, the black suit, those boxes are amazing. The Superman Christopher Reeve box, the Man of Steel Superman box. Even simple boxes that don't really have much going on, like the Maleficent box, very simple but still in its own way classy and understated and beautiful. Understated, that's right. Ian Fleetwood, thank you. John Hoggins. No, said the name wrong. John Higgins. Hi, Mr. Knight, with no K. There is a K, sir. I would like to congratulate you on your 10th anniversary. I am quite new to your channel and have been enjoying it very much, and hope you are good for another 10 years. Thank you. I have two questions for you. First, what is your all-time favorite film? Batman Begins. And second, what would your dream figure that hasn't been released be? I love your... What's this? I would love a Hot Toy... sorry. I would love if Hot Toys released a Rick Deckard from the original Blade Runner. And that's what he would want. So yeah, back to the favourite film. It would be more impressive to the intelligent folks out there watching this for me to say something like my favourite film is Taxi Driver or There Will Be Blood, which is true because I do love those films and they're in my collection, and Taxi Driver is probably my favourite film of all time, right there with Alien. But at the end of the day, I have to think about how does the film leave me feeling once it's over. And Taxi Driver doesn't have a grim ending. The actual ending of the movie is not too bad as far as how it leaves you feeling, a bit 50-50. And There Will Be Blood, that's a hell of an ending. But the way Batman Begins ends, it leaves me feeling like I could go out, and I remember how I felt in the cinema when I saw it. It made me feel like I could go out and do something, anything I put my mind to, if I believed in myself and really tried. That's how that film genuinely made me feel like I could accomplish something, and that's a nice thing to feel at the end of a film. I mean, The Dark Knight was an amazing film. There isn't Heath Ledger's performance in The Dark Knight as the Joker. There isn't a single frame of footage from Heath Ledger in that movie where he isn't just amazing. You just, but yeah, I'm more of a Batman fan than a Joker fan, so I'm definitely more into Batman Begins. But yeah, favorite films: Batman Begins, Taxi Driver, Alien, There Will Be Blood. So many. The Crow. So many films. The Dark Knight, Spider-Man 2, maybe Homecoming. We'll see. Time will tell with that one. I loved it in the cinema, but will it stand the test of time? As in, will I enjoy it a third time, a fourth time? Blah blah blah. Sorry guys if I'm slightly off camera. Oh, and what would my dream Hot Toys figure, if they were hypothetically to make anything I want? Arkham City Catwoman, but if we're really going for it and reaching for the impossible, I would love Hot Toys to make, and it's never going to happen, but the 80s TV show Street Hawk, kind of like Knight Rider and Airwolf, but the motorcycle version, to make the bike Street Hawk with all the light up features, and Jesse Mark, the guy who rode Street Hawk, with his black outfit with the LEDs around the sort of mouthpiece in his helmet. Street Hawk with Jesse Mark would be my dream 1/6 scale dream come true. I could die a happy man after that. But thank you, John Higgins. Oh shit, did it again. There we go. George Dioc. No, George. Bloody hell. Why'd you have to? I read this the last time I did this video. I read this name perfectly, and now I can't say it. I can see it, and I know how to say it, but it won't happen. Diakos. George Diakos. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Do you think it's worth buying a £250 plus figure and not enjoy it and use it to its full strength? It's all subjective, really, because these 1/6 scale figures are works of art, and art is subjective. Some people pay, well, I'm copying someone else's, I think it was Anthony Sang, but it's a very commonly used analogy, comparison, I don't know. But like some people pay like 15 million for like a painting that's just blue with a white line down the center, and that's it. It sells for millions. So a £250 plus shrunk down person with 1/6 scale clothing and hands that move and eyes that move and all that kind of stuff, it's all subjective. So one man's trash is another man's treasure. What's that other saying? Basically, it's up to you. I mean, I've paid silly money for figures in the past, and I've paid not so much for figures. I've had some good deals in the past, and I've also been fleeced. But it is what it is. That's the game. You got to make your own decisions, and we're all grown-ups, unless you're not a grown-up, in which case, more power to you. Jeff Hardy says, I know that using the word regret to verbally describe a figure that you can greatly... Sorry, my bad. I'm getting tired. It's 2:14 a.m. I probably should have waited to do this tomorrow morning, but I wanted to get this done for you guys. I know that using the word regret to verbally describe a figure you own can greatly lower its value in the owner's eyes, but in all honesty, what is the one Hot Toys figure you own that you absolutely regret buying? And the answer to that, very briefly and honestly, is none. Even the original Heath Ledger Joker that came out, the very first Heath Ledger Joker Hot Toys done, where the likeness was terrible, I still enjoyed it at the time, you know, and I used it for parts in the end. I used his outfit to put another Joker together, and I took the head off and just put it in the drawer and never used it again. But I didn't regret buying it, and I haven't regretted any Hot Toys figure, really. I'd got Winter Soldier Black Widow, and I sold her after about 6 months because I got bored of her, but I did get what I wanted out of her. I bought her thinking about the photography and the pictures I could do, and doing a video with Catwoman and stuff, so I did that, and once that was done, I didn't really feel I had much more use for her. So being the player that I am, I sold that bitch. Right, so Jeff Hardy, there you go. Empire Toys, Dino. Here's my question. Will you please do another collection vid now that the Suicide Squad and BVS line are complete? Of course, my friend. Very soon. I'm planning on doing that. That was what I was going to do instead of this tonight. I was going to do a full collection video. But I thought I better get this done, get it out of the way. I've not been looking forward to doing this again. Colin Reedo3, I think that's how you say it. Have you ever had a shelf collapse? Yes. And on that shelf at the time was a Hot Toys Iron Man Mark 6. Probably another Iron Man figure, I don't remember. Yeah, but yes, and there were about 5 Hot Toys figures on that shelf. It was about the same height as that one. Actually, it was more about where the Dark Knight's belt is right there, where I'm pointing, about that height off the ground. And the shelf just collapsed and everything, you know, smashed on the floor. But there was no damage, which was great. Even Iron Man Mark 6, nothing broke off. It was all carpet that they landed on, so it wasn't too bad. But that was scary as hell. So yes, I have had a shelf collapse, and it's not fun. Oh shit, sorry, June Delusa. Sorry for saying the name wrong. I'm a newer watcher, but my question is, what the first collectible you ever got? Congratulations on 10 years. So the first collectible I ever got, I don't know, that could have been back when I was a kid. Back when I was a little kid, I used to have all the Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Transformers, the original Transformers toys, and Star Wars toys, and well, Star Wars toys, the original ones, I guess, were the first collectibles technically. But then I started to collect McFarlane Aliens, and Evil Dead 2 Ash and an endoskeleton. And then some years later, I discovered the 1/6 scale because of Batman Begins and YouTube and stuff. So that's that. CSI Grissom, congrats, sir. I started collecting back in 2008, and my first figure being the MMS 71 Dark Knight, which I think was the first Dark Knight figure Hot Toys made. My question for you is, do you see your collecting of 1/6 scale figures slowing down or stopping anytime soon? I'm nearly as excited presently as I was back when I first started, or when they first started releasing the DX line and all of the vehicles. I have a Doc and Marty on pre-order, and sadly I am no longer in eager anticipation of what they come with next. I want that feeling back. So do I see myself scaling back my collection or stopping anytime soon? No. Nope. I'm going to be getting an extension built soon, and there's going to be a lot more room for figures, so that's not going to be a problem for a while after that. And I don't have any intention of slowing down or stopping. I enjoy this, and it's a great hobby. A hobby is a coping mechanism after all, and the world can be a pretty wonderful or terrible place sometimes. So it's nice to have something to keep the smile on your face. You know, there's other things you can do. There's all kinds of hobbies or life choices. Family's a good one. People like kids and stuff. Not me personally, but some folks do. I'm only joking. Kids are great. Jack Matheny. Just wanted to say thank you for all the amazing videos and images, Dean. You are my favourite and best reviewer. Love the Batman related figures and all the Catwoman and Maleficent videos. Oh, thanks, man. Not many people dig the Catwoman and Maleficent videos particularly, but I really appreciate you supporting those ones, man. Thanks very much, Jack. You are an amazing talent and love your honesty in your reviews. Me and my 1/6 scale friends here in Wisconsin in the US talk about your videos all the time. Well, that's mad, man. I've never been to the USA, and I've always wanted to go because I've loved America from, you know, day one. Everything I've grown up watching and listening to is pretty much American, with the exception of the odd British thing here and there. But I've never been to America. I really need to sort that out. But yeah, thanks for saying I'm your favorite and best reviewer, but honestly, there is no best reviewer. Sometimes people talk about that on forums and Facebook. I see it and I hate it because it makes other people feel like shit, and the person who's saying that must know that, but they don't care. Well, I don't think there is a best reviewer. I think we're all doing our bit, and everyone's got their own style. I ballsed up. I dropped the ball on the Wonder Woman review, guys. Hand on my heart. I hope I didn't scare you guys too much with the Wonder Woman review and put you off. Again, she is awesome. Just be careful. But there is no best reviewer. We're all the best reviewer, apart from you. What's this? Me and the 1/6 scale friends here in Scotland. My question would be, what is your ultimate top 3 to 5 figures you wish Hot Toys would make? Arkham City Catwoman, Street Hawk and his rider, Jesse Mark. I don't know. I don't know. They've almost made everything. There's only a couple of characters from legendary films left that hasn't been made by some company or another. Blitzway are doing the most random, surprising things. They're doing a Sharon Stone Basic Instinct statue, which looks incredible, but it's 1/4 scale. It's too big. If it was 1/6 scale, I'd even be tempted to get that because she's gorgeous. But not 1/4 scale. That's too big. Too big. So yeah, sorry if I skip some of the other picks, man. They're not coming to me right now. But honestly, Jack Metheny, if I'm saying that right, Jack Metheny, and your friends who watch, thank you so much for that, man. Lovely message, lovely comment. I remember reading that and answering this the first time I did this video before it all went wrong, and I did spend even longer answering this, but I am trying to plow through these. So thanks so much, Jack. Robert, just a fan. Are you planning on getting any more lights for your collection? Where do you get your backgrounds, and why didn't you ever do your top 10 favorite Batman moments that you promised a year ago? Just asking. I honestly forgot that I promised I'd do a top 10 Batman moments in movies video. That's a good idea, and please remind me about that soon, because I would like to do that. I just forgot. Busy. Work full time. Trying to do this full time. Walk a dog full time. Look after the family full time. It's all full time. I want to get some more dioda lights. I think that's what they're called. Nick got me some as a gift last Christmas. They're awesome lights. I love them. Need to get some more, but I heard somewhere recently that they're not making them anymore. Shit. Christopher Guzman, will you be getting Deadshot? No. He looks amazing, but I just don't want him in the collection. Don't care enough. But he was one of the best parts of the movie. Harley Quinn and Deadshot were the two best characters for me in that film. Thank you, Christopher. Alcazar Disco, do you like Dolph Lundgren? What's your favorite movie with him? I do like Dolph Lundgren. I was born in 1980, so I grew up with all the 80s movies, and he was big back then. And I remember the Punisher movie with Dolph Lundgren, so I'm going to go ahead and either say Rocky IV or the Punisher with Dolph Lundgren would be my favorite. The Punisher with him is meant to be terrible, people say, but I remember it as being pretty good. I don't know. Marcelo Guerrero, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Why you don't have a Batman 66 Hot Toys in your Batman figure collection? You don't like it? Congrats on 10 years. I don't have the Adam West Batman just simply because I just don't really like the way that Batman looks. I did enjoy the show when I was a little kid. I thought it was very funny, and I still do think it holds up, and it is still an entertaining show. But that is Batman to me. That kind of demonic, threatening force of good. So thank you for that one. David J. Henriquez, congrats on 10 years, mate. Like your channel very much, and good reviews as well for the photo shoots. Thank you. Keep up the good work and ideas coming. On another note, my question would be, as far as costume, do you think one day you will make a entire figure, or just the bit here and there that you do? So will I one day make a full figure from scratch totally myself, or just do some customizing here and there? I'd probably just stick to doing customizing here and there. I've done a lot of customizing on figures, and in the early days I made velvet capes for the 1/6 scale Dark Knight figures. That's really caught on now. I remember some of the guys who make capes now sending me a message asking me how I was getting the shape right, and I had to tell them how to do it, and now everyone's making millions making capes. But I was too lazy to make them for everyone. I made a few. I made one for Rick and Moggy and myself, and gave one to Nick and stuff. Now here we go, another question, and this one's from Petra Serrano. Lovely name. And if you could only have one figure, which would it be? So if I could only keep one figure, it would be that one, the Enter Bay Batman 1/4 scale Batman Begins Batman. Thank you very much, Petra. Dylan LB, would you rather get Hot Toys for all upcoming... Would you rather get Hot Toys for all the upcoming Tom Holland villains from Spider-Man or all of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man villains? So would I rather Hot Toys make all the Tom Holland villains from Spider-Man films or all the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? I don't really care that much, to be honest. I think a Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 would be amazing with die-cast arms. Wow, that would be sick. And the Vulture from Homecoming would be amazing too. If I had to pick between the Vulture and Doc Ock, I would choose Doc Ock personally. I just would really love to see something like that happen. Dylan B asks another question. What do your parents think of your collection? Well, I've never known my dad. He died about a year ago, and I never knew him, and it was kind of by choice because he... It's kind of personal, man. But I never knew my dad, but my mum is a legend. She raised me by herself. She's always supported everything that I've ever had a passion for. Everything from when I first started playing guitar or wanted to play guitar, she got me my first guitar, and then she encouraged me to practice, and she even got me into a lot of the bands that I love now. Like I remember when I was about 11, 12, I was still into Michael Jackson and pop music, and she would be playing the Black Album by Metallica or Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses, and then she'd be playing Nevermind by Nirvana when that came out, and I'd be in the other room in my bedroom listening to Michael Jackson, which I still love. But she got me into all that stuff, and she's always supported everything I've done. She's just amazing, and yeah, I could talk all day about my mama. I love her very much, and she's encouraged the collection. She never says, "Oh, what are you doing? You're buying more figures. You're an idiot." She never ever says that. In fact, if Hot Toys ever make a 1/6 scale Poison Ivy, it's going to be her figure because she loves Poison Ivy so much. But yeah, my parent thinks my collecting is good because I'm sure she understands that everyone needs a hobby. But thanks, Dylan. Stargazer 95, being that you have a lot of Batman figures, what is your favorite Batman actor and why? That's a juicy question. Well, I love Michael Keaton as Batman. I love, well, love is a strong word. I love Michael Keaton as Batman. I like Ben Affleck so far as Batman a lot. But my favorite would be Christian Bale as Batman, but only for Batman Begins, not The Dark Knight, and definitely not The Dark Knight Rises, because I see them all as three very different films. I think he played it perfect in Batman Begins. The voice was fine. The way he fought, I know it was mostly a stuntman when it came to the KC fighting, and the way he beat people down in Batman Begins, it was fierce. But I think he nailed Bruce Wayne perfect in Batman Begins, and he nailed Batman perfectly in the first film. And it was mainly in The Dark Knight he was kind of outshined by Heath. No, that's not his fault. You can't stop a locomotive going that intensely. You just got to let it ride. But the voice in The Dark Knight got really out of hand, and then it got even worse in The Dark Knight Rises, and the fight choreography in The Dark Knight Rises was terrible. There's 2 moments in that movie where people fall down around Batman who haven't even been hit. But yeah. So Christian Bale, but only because of Batman Begins, and then Michael Keaton, then Ben Affleck. Val Kilmer was alright. He was alright. And the guy who, I think it's Bat in the Sun, Scars of Gotham on YouTube. That guy who played Batman, really good. And the guy from, I think he's the same guy from Batman Dead End with the Predators and the aliens. Phil Werrell. Who is your favourite DC character and why? I suppose it has to be Batman, but I love Catwoman too. I love Batman on a much more of a shallow level because I just like the way Batman looks first and foremost. He has to look right, and then I'm in for the ride sort of thing. With Catwoman, she's super attractive, and I love the woman. But I also love the darkness to her and her origin story, especially the Frank Miller take on her origin story where her mother died. I think she committed suicide, and Selina grew up looking a lot like her mother, and her father hated that. Well, he couldn't cope with that, so he kind of pushed her away as well. So she grew up really rough and ended up becoming a dominatrix in a really seedy part of Gotham. And yeah, the Frank Miller take on Catwoman is really interesting. I love the Adam Hughes comics of Catwoman. I love how you can't pigeonhole her into the good guy, bad guy thing. You just can't do it. She's in the middle, and very few comic book characters can ride that line for this long. It's a damn shame the Halle Berry movie ruined Catwoman and made her into a joke for so long. We're still waiting, even though Arkham City Catwoman saved the day quite a bit. I don't think The Dark Knight Rises did much for Catwoman, to be honest. I think Anne Hathaway was the perfect person to play. Can't talk. I think Anne Hathaway was the perfect person to play Catwoman now, but I think Christopher Nolan kind of wasted that. He wasted her as Catwoman. So that's my answer to that. I could have answered that a lot longer. I'd love to talk about that a lot more, but I got to move on. Thank you, Phil Werrell. Danny Worrell. Think we can get another figure talk video. Was great before with you, Rick and Nenny. Be great to see something like that again. A lot has changed in the 1/6 scale since the last figure talk, and it would be good to have another one. Please answer in the video. Yeah, I'd definitely be up for doing another one, Danny. It's a matter of getting everyone together, and I work full time at night now for the last 3 years, so my body clock is very different to everyone else's, and I'm awake when everyone's asleep, and vice versa. So if someone else wants to take on the duty of arranging that and letting me know in advance, I will make the necessary arrangements to be there for it. So yeah, Danny, I won't want to arrange that because it's a big job. But if someone wants to send me an invite one day, I will definitely be up for joining it. Oh shit. Keep pressing the wrong button. Alright. Gogol 1980. What's the worst figure you ever bought and still own? Example, it's bad but for nostalgic or personal reasons you kept. Bit of a weird answer because the only figure I can really say for that answer would be the Takara Batman Begins 1/6 scale figure. However, I did sell it. I don't have it anymore. No, I had two. I loved it so much I bought two because I customized one of the necks to make it more movie accurate, and I left the other one fresh in the box to keep forever. But then times were hard, and I had to sell the one that was fresh in the box, and I kept the one with the dodgy neck that I fixed. But then the Super Sculpty clay that I used to fix the neck all started to crack away, so he's under the bed. I still do have one of the Takara Batmans, and that's the one I would choose. It hasn't held up very well over the years. It's quite a dodgy looking figure now, but back in the day, back in 2000 and very late 2007 or early 2008 when I got it, it was great. So that's that. Thank you. Brian Widiodarmono. Right, Brian Widiodarmono. That one. You, dude. Congrats on 10 years. How does a 1/4 scale versus 1/6 scale compare in terms of articulation, scoped, overall finish? Does it depend on the MFG or the specific figure? As far as articulation goes, I think that they are capable of being exactly the same. Maybe because it's 1/4 scale, the joints might have more room to move and achieve more poses, or that could be stupid to say that. I don't know. I'm really not the guy to ask. Like I said, I've been in the game 10 years, but there's still a lot to learn, and that's one of the things I need to learn. So thanks very much, Brian. Ezerez, that's Sven. Ezerez has a great channel. He's just moved house, so he's not doing much at the moment, but he'll be reviewing more figures soon. But Sven's a dude. He sent me a dynamic Hot Toys base to use for reviews. He says, "Hey Duderino, here is a couple of questions for you. Number one, since you started your channel, what's the biggest issues you've had or still have with YouTube, as in changes for the better or worse? I missed the old YouTube channel layout where you could design your own background for your YouTube channel or upload your own images and have your own identity, the way your channel looked when people went to it. Now it's just white. Everyone's is the same. I don't like that." And he says, during your 10 years as a YouTuber, what is the best things that have come out of it for you? Experiences, community, relationships, etc. Definitely all the friendships. Made some incredible friends all over the world, and that's the kind of thing that pops into my mind. I'll be walking down the street and it will just hit me. I'll think to myself, I was just talking to someone in Hong Kong on my phone, and then 2 minutes later I was talking to someone in Brazil, and then I was talking to two guys in America, then I'm back talking to someone in Sheffield or Windsor or Dublin or Scotland, and it's amazing. But it's also a bit sad sometimes, because sometimes you feel you make so many friends in the invisible world, it makes you feel more lonely in the real one. It's weird. But what's that? Oh, but I worked for Enterbay for 2 years. That was an amazing thing that came from doing the YouTube stuff. I can't remember what year that started. It was right around the time the Entebbe Batman came out. I worked for Entebbe doing their photography and videos promotions. Like they'd send me a sample of something like Scarface, Bruce Lee, Entebbe Batman, Way of the Dragon, Bruce Lee, Men in Black figures, Che Guevara, and I would photograph them and then make the showcase video, send it to Entebbe, they'd approve it, and then I'd upload it on my channel. That lasted for about 2 years, and then there was a changeover of staff, and the new person who was in charge of that stuff, he wasn't prepared to send samples for free anymore, which is fine. It was good while it lasted. But I'll just mention this briefly, because this is a big part of one of the experiences I've had, an ongoing experience. I gave up on it now, I don't bother anymore. But for the first 6 years of doing the YouTube videos, when I was solely about photography and showcasing figures just in video and photography, not reviewing them or talking about them or giving my opinion, just showing them to you in the best way I could. I sent Hot Toys an email or two every day almost for 5 years, and my pitch to them was the same pitch that I sent to Entebbe, and they got back to me the very next day and said, absolutely, that sounds brilliant, we'd love to work with you. Hot Toys took 6 years to reply to me, and every day I would send them more and more photography, pictures of Superman flying in space, pictures of aliens in the hive, pictures of a predator in the jungle holding a skull up, pictures of Terminators and everything. And at the time when I first started taking pictures of figures with backgrounds behind them, I didn't see anyone else doing that. And if there was, God bless you, but I didn't see it. I remember looking at the time thinking, no one else is doing this, but these figures look so real. If you put them in front of a screen with a background from the movie and you do it right and light it right, or try to light it right at least, because that's always a thing you never really master, is lighting figures. I mean, sometimes you get it right. I have to take a lot of photographs, and hopefully if you take enough pictures, there'll be some good ones in there. Not all of them are going to be good. But basically I was sending, every time I made a showcase video, I would send it to Hot Toys with a note attached saying, I would love to work with you guys and kind of represent your figures over here in the UK, and you know, photograph them. And because at the time, Hot Toys promotional prototype images were always just a white background or a grey background. That was it. Like all the Predator 2 figures, the Alien Marines, you know, go back and look at those old Hot Toys figures, and the background for the promotional image was always just white or grey. And I was sending them all these pictures with the movie backgrounds, making it look like a recognizable still from the film, like when Batman's up in the tower in the first film looking for Joker. Send them that, no reply. Send them another 10 pictures of Batman in different poses with different backgrounds from the movie, no reply. Years go by, still trying. Years go by, still trying. Years go by, still trying. Then finally, 6 years later, I get one sentence from Hot Toys: no, we will not be sending you any samples, please understand. Then the blogger pictures happened, and now when a new figure comes out in Hong Kong, all these bloggers over there, they take the pictures of the figure with a background, and they do exactly the thing that I pitched to Hot Toys all those years ago. And I was very angry about that for a long time, but I still collected their stuff, so I couldn't have been that angry about it. But yeah, that was one of the main experiences I've had, is being completely shafted by Hot Toys. But I still collect their stuff, still review them as honestly and fairly as I can, even though they stole my idea. So thanks, Ezerez. Thanks, Sven. Man, I haven't even had a drink of water. This is all one take. I'm just going to blast through it, guys. Michael Lee, congrats on 10 years. Thank you, sir. My question is, why do you think other companies have not jumped on the Hot Toys bandwagon? I know that they're out there, Sideshow and Entebbe example, but the quality is nowhere near Hot Toys, so there is, in my opinion, a lack of competition in high quality licensed figures on par with Hot Toys. I wouldn't agree with that. I just think it's more a case of Hot Toys have all the best licenses. Companies like Blitzway have proved that they're capable of matching the quality of a Hot Toys figure. Entebbe, I think, have proved that they're capable of matching the quality of a Hot Toys figure. Their Entebbe NBA figures, especially the Michael Jordan head sculpts, are dead on flawless. And the Entebbe Batman sculpts, the Bruce Wayne head, amazing. The Way of the Dragon Bruce Lee, there's so many. They don't always knock them out of the park. There's been a few dodgy Entebbe figures, but I'm sure there's a couple of dodgy Hot Toys ones too. But I think it's more just literally down to the fact that Hot Toys have the power, the manpower, the people the amount of workers and the licenses they have, all the superhero stuff, the Marvel, the DC, the Star Wars, the everything. They have all the best licenses, and it seems to be companies like Blitzway at the moment really taking some cool risks. So I respect them. I love when you see companies like Enterbay and Blitzway just say, screw you, we're doing our thing, and if you don't like it. Now, Cobalta. I hope I'm saying that right. Sorry, man. Are any of the joints on your 1/4 scale endoskeleton loose? Mine are a tad loose, and I don't know if that is a common thing. Yes, my especially the arms, like this bit, is a bit loose. Like when I go to get him to hold his plasma rifle up, he will hold it up, but I have to do it slowly and carefully, or it will just drop down again. But I can't see any screws to tighten, so I'll just leave it. But he is currently holding the gun up, so he can do it. But yeah, mine are a little bit loose on the shoulder joint. So thanks for that, man. Oh god, here we go. Ryan Maiden, this is a big one. Cool video, Dean. Congrats on reaching 10 years. Been watching for a year or two now, and I think I really enjoy your videos. You think you do? You're not sure? God, man. Yeah, I think I really enjoy your videos, especially the Batman DC related ones. I'm going to be seeing Spidey also tomorrow, hoping it turns out well. My question for you, or one of them anyway, even though it's a loaded question, but it's one that hasn't been asked yet, is if you had to pick just one figure from your collection for some reason and had to sell the others, which one would you keep? Enterbay Batman. And being a music guy myself, what would you say were your top 5 favorite bands? Thanks for taking the time to answer these, and keep up the awesome videos. Thanks very much, Ryan Maiden. Favorite bands: Tool, Massive Attack, Pearl Jam, Guns N' Roses, and one last band. I don't know, man. I got to choose between Slint, Alice in Chains. I'll just say Slint. Spiderland. That album's amazing. I like Shellac as well. But yeah, thanks, Ryan Maiden. I spent a lot longer answering that last time. It's just I can't do that now because it's going to take up too much time. But thanks very much for an awesome question. Movie accurate. What's your favorite figure, bro, and why? Which one makes your heart pump when you still look at it today? I'll go for Enterbay Batman again. Just be predictable. It's my favorite figure. Robin, just a fan. Are you planning on getting more lights for your collection? I've already answered that one. I think I must have gone the wrong way. Stiff Kittens. Hey Dean, congratulations on your 10 years. I have been trying to contact you about Snake and Diamond, but of course no return. Please contact me on Facebook when you you know what you have to do. Well, you made that public so I could answer you publicly and completely destroy that, but just private message me on YouTube. I had to block you on Facebook because you're crazy, but I'm only joking. You're not crazy. Red or Dead? Have you? Well, I'll tell you. This is what happened. Stiff Kittens says he's been trying to contact me about 2 figures that he sent me to showcase, and then once I showcased them, I was supposed to send them right back to him, which I did try for over a year. On Facebook, I would say, "Hey Alex, can I have your address? I want to send you back your figures." And he would say, "How's your dog?" or "How's your mum?" And I'd say, "Yeah, they're fine. Can I have your address, please?" And he just changed the subject. He wouldn't give me his address. He wouldn't even talk about why he won't give me his address. He just keeps changing the subject. So I think, okay, I'll try again tomorrow. So and I actually photographed every time I did this, so I have the proof. But yeah, about 12, 15 times I specifically said, "Alex, this is getting silly. I need your address so I can send you back your figures." And for whatever reason, he would just change the subject and wouldn't even address the address situation. So that's why you don't have your figures back, Alex, is because you wouldn't give me your address for some reason. So why you're turning up on my video leaving comments saying that you know what you have to do is weird. Okay? Now, I think anyone who can watch this who's got 2 brain cells to rub together can see I may not be Einstein, but I'm not stupid. So there is no reason why I would deliberately screw over someone in the community and steal their figures. I've been begging you for your address, and it got to the point where I just couldn't stand dealing with it anymore. So your figures are still in their shipping boxes, in there, safe as houses. If you give me a damn address, you get them first bloody thing in the morning, man. But just, I need your address. I'll have to unblock you on Facebook as well. But once I get your address, I'm blocking your ass again because your ass is rude. Right, thanks, Dickens. What, another one, Red and Dead? No. That's me reading the same question again. That's the end of it. We're done. I got to that question, and then the next thing's a Wonder Woman picture. That means we're finished. All right, how long was that? 55 minutes, under an hour. We did it. All right, and I'm on video. That's not good. Don't know how long I'm going to leave this up on the channel, so you guys better watch this fast or download it and keep it if you want, but it's not going to be on the channel forever. Peace.